Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Due to the bland t-shirt, this is a vault-only video. Video only going up on the vault for my 9,000 closest friends. And the reason I'm doing this here is, again, it's a little pet peeve. I'm going to gripe a little bit. But something happened regarding a video I put up recently about drunk canoeing. I put up the video called Court Upholds Drunk Canoeing Prison Sentence. Court upholds drunk canoeing prison sentence. And I skim the comments underneath the videos. I've tried not to read them all anymore because it's just too frustrating. And one of the reasons is this. The video went up a couple days ago, and I actually had 30 or 40 people respond and go, "This is clickbait. That headline's clickbait. I can't believe this guy's using clickbait." And what's funny is how many people refer to me in the third person when they're commenting on videos. This guy's using clickbait. That's clickbait. And the weird part is, it's not clickbait. People either don't know what clickbait is, or they simply write that in response to videos they didn't like, or so. I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing, because I get that in response to many of my videos, and my titles aren't clickbait for the most part. I've had a few that I can see where someone might say that. But the title to the video was Court Upholds Drunk Canoeing Prison Sentence. The story involved a court which upheld a prison sentence for a guy who was drunk when he was canoeing. That title was a perfect 6-word synopsis of the story. Now, I cannot put the entire story in the title because a 9 or 10 minute long video would have a title that's, I don't know, a couple thousand words long. You can't put a couple thousand words in a title. So how do you summarize a story about a guy who got a prison sentence while drunk canoeing and the court upheld it? You'd say, well, the court upholds drunk canoeing prison sentence. Oh, that's clickbait. That's clickbait. So just in case you're curious, you can look up the definition of clickbait. It's not so new that it's not in the dictionaries. So for the people out there who don't know what clickbait is, first of all, you should know that the accepted usage is a single word, not two. It's clickbait, not clickbait. But something such as a headline designed to make readers want to click on a hyperlink, especially when the link leads to content of dubious value or interest. And the implication is that the title oversells what you're going to see. They promise one thing, they deliver less. And it is especially when the title is sensationalized, deceptive, or misleading. So I'll tell you right now, yesterday I was out in my garage and I saw a mouse. I saw a mouse run across the floor of my garage. Now, the garage is not attached to the house, so I didn't mind. I live in the house. The mouse lives in the garage. If I put up a video to describe that story and it said, "Wild animal loose in my garage," that would be clickbait. Because the implication is there's a wild animal in there and there's something. Well, a mouse technically is a wild animal. He's not tame, doesn't come when he's called, okay? There is a wild animal in my garage. He's not caged, therefore he's loose. Technically speaking, I could say there's a wild animal loose in my garage. People would recognize that that is clickbait because that's sensationalized. Obviously, more accurate headline would be mouse in my garage. So the only reason you sensationalize it is to turn it into clickbait. However, sensationalized, deceptive, or misleading. So is the court upholds drunk canoeing prison sentence sensationalized? No. In fact, the verb there is upholds. The court upheld a ruling. Woo, that's sensational, my friends. Is it deceptive? Court upholds drunk canoeing prison sentence. Is there anything about that phrase that is deceptive? When you watch the video, do you think you're going to see something other than the story of a court upholding a prison sentence involving drunk canoeing? No. Misleading? Is it misleading? No, it's not. In fact, like I said, ain't nothing more specifically accurate than what I wrote. Court upholds drunk canoeing prison sentence. Now, I could have escalated that because you recall that the real story here was the guy went canoeing in unsafe conditions and he brought his girlfriend's son with him, and the girlfriend's son was not dressed appropriately and was not a strong swimmer, and the conditions were so dangerous that people warned him not to go. And he not only went, but he brought the child with him. I could have put something in there about drunk canoeing leads to child's death, man goes to prison. And by the way, that would have been accurate also. That wouldn't have been clickbait. I could have done something about child dies in icy, frigid waters while drunken canoeist watches. Would have been correct. But I didn't. Court upholds drunk canoeing. That's clickbait. That's clickbait. And by the way, one of the reasons I'm talking about this right now is I noticed that in the space of 8 comments, 4 of them claimed I was using clickbait. Now, I don't know if these people know each other and all come in and decide to call it clickbait simultaneously. Like, hey, let's mess with this guy. Or if somebody's just simply reading the comments and sees the latest comment that it's clickbait, and they go, oh, I think it's clickbait too. But I don't know why. And I've had other people comment on other videos of mine where they say, Steve, this is clickbait. And I go, what about the title makes it clickbait? And they never respond. And then I also said, if you were to write the title for this video, what would you have called it? Again, they never respond. So my question, again, it's hypothetical or rhetorical because no one ever answers it, is that if my court upholds drunk canoeing prison sentence is inaccurate because it's sensationalized, deceptive, or misleading, explain to me how you would rewrite that title in a way that would not be clickbait and would still deliver the same information that is a summary of what's in the video. And you have to do it differently than I did it. And I don't think it can be done. And by the way, there's an art to writing titles and headlines for thumbnails. There is. And I know editors at Jalopnik, roadandtrack.com, other places. I know editors who are really good at it. They can read a story and they can, boom, perfect headline. Now, I also know guys who are really good at making most articles that are okay into better sounding with the headline, and sometimes it borders on clickbait. And I remember when I wrote stories for Jalopnik, I would occasionally get accused of clickbait titles, and I'd explain to people, I don't do the titles. I write the story, send it in, they put a title on it, and they publish it. Sorry, that's how it works. And it also works that way in the publishing industry too, by the way. For books, I've mentioned before, I've written a couple books, American Murder Houses, Drawn to Injustice, and about 13 others. And although I had input on those titles, and I agree with those titles, the titles were actually achieved by the publisher. And the publisher would contact me and say, hey, Steve, we've been working on this manuscript you got. We're thinking about this for a title. What do you think? And quite often, they're very good at it. And they can't get away with a clickbaity title on a book because if people buy a book and the title's misleading, you'll hear about it, and that hearing about it will then hurt sales because they're trying to sell books. Obviously, on the internet, all you're trying to do is get clicks. That's why clickbait would work. But that gets us back to the question. If court upholds drunk canoeing prison sentence, if that's clickbait, explain to me how you would write that title not as clickbait. And better, and I suspect some people in the audience can do this, feel free to punch that up and make it more clickbaity, because I bet that's the direction where there's more room to move. So there you go, a vault-only video. This is not clickbait. Questions or comments and clickbait, put it below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.